Hello guys, Greg back with another video on the channel. It is all killer no filler. So this is my weekly video where I discuss all of the fragrances I wore on each day of the previous week. I try to get one of these out every week. I don't always manage to, but I'll get them out as often as I can. So this video is going to be my daily rotation from last week, which was from Monday the 6th of May to yesterday, which was the 12th of May, Sunday the 12th of May 2019. So on Monday, it was quite nice weather in the UK, so I thought I'd go for an old favourite fresh minty fragrance, and this one is Cartier Roadster. Now this used to appear on a lot of people's top 10 lists for, designer lists for spring and summer, but you don't really hear about it anymore. People don't tend to talk about it. It's a decent, solid scent in my opinion. There's much better alternative for what is like a minty vetiver fragrance. There's also vanilla in here. But if you're having a casual day, it's a nice option. So very fresh, very pleasing, and I enjoy wearing that from time to time. That's Cartier Roadster. On to Tuesday, I wore a flanker to what I think is one of the best men's releases in recent years. And this one is Dunkel Icon Racing. I'm not sure if the camera picks it up very well, but the colour of this is actually British Racing Green. Now this is very different to the original. They're both woody aromatic fragrances and they've both got a strong lavender note, but that's kind of where the similarity ends. Racing's got a very nice fresh opening. It's got neroli, orange blossom and grapefruit that lift off this one, and then you get some lavender as I mentioned, and there's musk and a lot of cardamom in here as well. It's probably not as good or as interesting as the original, but it's a very good fragrance in its own right. Probably the second best in the Dunkel Icon range in my opinion. So on to Wednesday, the latest Aventus clone. This is Mont Blanc Explorer. Now this is actually a pretty good fragrance in its own right. I think this isn't really an Aventus clone. It smells similar to Aventus, but it's got sort of aspects of things like Dior Sauvage and Prada Luna Rosa Carbon as well. So I think if we hadn't sort of all smelt Aventus and just treated this as a fragrance in its own right, it would get a lot of love. It's very well put together. It actually lasts longer than the current Aventus patches on my skin. But as I say, don't think of it as being an exact clone. It's just, it's just an inspired kind of fragrance, but it is very good. I would, gladly recommend that one. The next one was Thursday, and I went for an old classic. And this is Monsieur de Givenchy. This is an old splash bottle. I decant this into an atomizer. I'm not sure exactly how old it is, but it's pretty old. And this is a real old school gentleman's fragrance. Think of things like Chanel Pour Monsieur and YSL Pour Homme, and it's in that sort of style with lemon, lavender, oak moss. Those three key notes in these type of fragrance. I haven't actually tried the current version of Monsieur de Givenchy to do a comparison, but the version I've got is absolutely awesome if you love those sort of old school gents type fragrances. On Friday, so I was just sat at my desk in the office all day. I really felt like having something fresh and clean, something a bit on the quieter side, so I went for this one, and this is Helmut Lang Eau de Cologne. Very beautiful smelling fragrance. Lasts a long time, but it's always understated. It kind of comes and goes. You'll forget you've got this on, and then suddenly you'll get a really great waft of it come along. You've got to be a lavender fan to enjoy this one. It's a musky lavender with some florals in here. The most detectable floral I pick up is heliotrope in here. But also when this settles down you get cedar and sandalwood as well. It's not a statement maker, it's just a very clean, fresh, calming, inviting type of fragrance. My bottle that I've got here is the original formulation. This one was discontinued quite a few years ago. It was brought back in 2014, but I haven't actually tried the current formulation, but this one is absolutely superb if you like that type of thing. Saturday, went out into town to get some new school shoes for the kids. I'm at that stage where there's very few things in town that are of any interest to me. The only things I ever look at are food, watches and perfumes really. But I thought I'd go with something fresh that would last a good 6 hours walking around the shops, and I went for a discontinued gem, and this one is Sport de Paco Rabanne. Now this is the best Paco Rabanne fragrance that I've ever smelt. It's a beautiful aromatic fougere. It's full of citrus. It's got patchouli in here. It's got woods and spice. It lasts all day. Literally lasts forever, this one. Another proper old school 80s fragrance, but it hasn't got that abrasiveness that some of the real sort of 80s powerhouses have got. But it's an absolutely beautiful fragrance. Not easy to find, but if you can get your hands on it, it's beautiful. And finally, yesterday, which was Sunday, Since I'm such a fan of the men's line of fragrances from this house, I thought I'd give a woman's one a try. And this one is from the house of Bodega, Vanessa, and it's called Eau de Valor. And again, this house didn't disappoint me, because this is another great one. Very wearable for a guy, in my opinion. It's a beautiful leather, plum, patchouli and rose mix. There's some spices in here in the background as well, but it's just a really excellent scent. This house has come out of nowhere for me. Everything I've tried I've loved. I've got all 4 of the men's scents. They're all great. Two of them being absolute stunners in my opinion. But I've got a couple of other women's fragrances now from this line, so I'm probably going to give them a go this week. So there you go, guys. That's another weekly rotation vid. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be back probably tomorrow or the next day with my top 10 spring niche list, which I'm just finishing up. If any of you guys are on Instagram, I'd appreciate if you'd follow me on there. Have updates every day. The Instagram name is Fragrance Samples UK. And just before I go, remember that you can purchase samples of over 500 fragrances from my online store, which is fragrancesamplesuk.com. If your country doesn't appear on the list at checkout, you can just drop us an email at info@fragrancesamplesuk.com, and one of my team or myself will get back to you. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon. Cheers.